Remember, the law provides that upon an impeachment, the president has 14 days to nominate. He nominated 3 hours after the impeachment. The Constitution provides that Parliament shall have 60 days to deal with this question. Parliament sat within 15 minutes and they gazetted that they have approved Professor Kindiki to be the deputy president nominee. A swearing-in ceremony was arranged at Uhuru Gardens the next day. And that's why I say, Mr. President, your legal team has failed you. You are finding yourself in a crisis created, masterminded by incompetent legal advisors surrounding the head of state. The law on the assumption of office of the deputy president is that upon the determination that this is the person to be appointed, that appointment must be done the next Tuesday after that determination. That Tuesday will be declared a national holiday. That national holiday, that deputy president-elect shall take oath of office between 10 to 2 p.m. What was happening at Uhuru Gardens is a complete sham and an abuse of the constitutional and constitutionalism in Kenya. Today, the state came to pick an order that they have vacated the interim orders. My clients, Sheria Mtani, and very many petitioners had filed petitions. They were certified by the judges. The judges referred those matters to the Chief Justice for empanelment. On the 18th, the Deputy Chief Justice simply picked the files that had interim orders and brought them to court for them to be vacated. That scheme goes deep into very serious questions of politics. What was the position of the judiciary, the DCJ, in the elections of 2017? We have got to go back to the history. Where is the CJ? The CJ's whereabouts are not there. And the CJ today has surfaced to send condolences of the loss of a magistrate. Serious contradictions. We are telling those UDA members, those who think that impeaching Gachagua is a walk on the park. We are now in the arena where the Constitution and the law applies. The courts, after the High Court, any party that will lose this matter will go to the Court of Appeal. Any party that will lose this matter will go to the Supreme Court. And I'm telling Kenyans, the deputy president shall be in office until around March 2027, when they will part away and each will form a political party to contest the elections of 2027. We are calling upon the judiciary to follow the law, and I'm appealing to the media You are the custodians of the people's rights. Proceed. We have information. An application is supposed to be done to gag the media that this matter is of national security question. A good friend, Senator Manzo, will deal with that. We shall protect the freedom of the media to air everything. There is no national security question. We will be very ready, alert to defend Rigathi, and Rigathi, with his over 7 million votes, has a right that every Kenyan follows this matter to the end. A lot of composed of seasoned lawyers who are suffering from legal amnesia. They forgot that after their drama, the next battlefield is at the High Court. A matter came up today at the High Court. Remember, the law provides that upon an impeachment, the president has 14 days to nominate. He nominated 3 hours after the impeachment. The Constitution provides that Parliament shall have 60 days to deal with this question. Parliament sat within 15 minutes and they gazetted that they have approved Professor Kindiki to be the deputy president nominee. A swearing-in ceremony was arranged at Uhuru Gardens the next day. And that's why I say, Mr. President, your legal team has failed you. You are finding yourself in a crisis created, masterminded by incompetent legal advisors surrounding the head of state.
There is a question that I have seen in the comments, in one of the comments in our previous video. And someone has asked me, Kevin, do you think William Ruto has changed his mind on the rush to swear Kindiki? Or rather, better still, has Rigathi Gachagua slowed down the urgency of swearing in Kithure Kindiki? I want you to get to the comment section and what do you see looking at the development going on? Has William Ruto seemed to have changed his mind on the urgency to swear Kindiki, or has Rigathi Gachagua slowed down the urgency of impeaching Kithure Kindiki? That question is one, and you can match the points. So I want to read your comments. I'll take the first 10 minutes when I post this video to read your comments. What do you think? What do you say? Just write your comment there. The bottom line here is the urgency to swear in Kithure Kindiki, that urgency has been slowed. And whether it is the courts or it is by design, the state apologists say that the state doesn't miss their target, and if they miss by intention. Today I was in one of the cafeterias in town, and this discussion of this impeachment was going on, so I was seated somewhere far from there. And I liked the discussion, and I liked what they were saying. They were saying that no one has a problem that Rigathi is being impeached. They're saying Rigathi is a bad person. But let us just follow the law. The same constitution should just protect everyone. And probably because it is the constitution that will also help Kenya make a better choice in future. So I think that to me, out of 10 people, when you talk to them, you will realize that Rigathi is not that popular. But people tend to have a problem. Away from the emotional, the people that are just talking on emotions, on rational appeal, people say, yes, Rigathi is bad, but let's follow the law. Team Bold, that has been my position. And that's why some people interpret it, oh, you're a Rigathi apologist. No. But I don't have any problem with that school of thinking. The truth here is we need to discard emotions and remain within the rational appeal. The rational appeal here is, let's follow the law. That is it. At least we have the precedents. You'll agree with me that the urgency in which things were happening since Thursday last week, things happened very fast, just from the day one. From the day National Assembly shouted the whole day to give Mutuse go ahead to send that motion to Parliament. At night, Parliament finished, I think at around 10. By night, the Speaker of the National Assembly had sent that motion to the Senate. And Senate convened a meeting the next day. And after convening that meeting, they set the date after. In fact, there was a moment of saying, let's rush this thing in 2 days. So last week when they sat, they had that special sitting in Senate, it was to be done in a record 2 days. Things have been happening so fast. And remember, the impeachment motion was supposed to be on Wednesday and Thursday. Then before even the Senate session could start, the Speaker of the National Assembly, Wetangula, had already called a special sitting on Friday. That was previous week. On Friday, last week, so that they could pass the name of Kindiki. That was on Friday. And I can tell you, quite absurd, by record 10 a.m., the name had been sent to the National Assembly. 236 MPs out of 236 supported it. What other people did not tell you is that the National Assembly has 349, but only 236 were in the Senate, when the Assembly. Even though the next day, the next hour in the afternoon, the quorum could not be there. So they rushed to the National Assembly and passed the name. And the plan was, immediately it's passed, on Friday afternoon, Kindiki was supposed to be sworn in. But others say God does not come out. Martha Koome did not swear Kindiki. Just to show you how things happened, Moses Kuria was even dispatched in Uhuru Gardens so that he can go and invite people. In fact, I can tell you, there was a plan to swear in Kithure Kindiki on Saturday, so that by the time Ruto was going to Mashujaa Day, he was going there to unleash his deputy. On that Saturday, Moses Kuria even invited Kenyans in Uhuru Gardens, the place where President was performing, and no state agency came and declined and said, there are no plans. State House never said no to that video clip by Moses Kuria that they were going to swear in Kindiki when he went to inspect Uhuru Gardens for that swearing in. Then came on Sunday. That Sunday, during the Mashujaa Day celebrations, they were planning to hijack and then impeach, and then swear in Kindiki. After all that didn't happen, Oscar Sudi and a host of pro-government leaders were saying 10 a.m. Tuesday, that is Tuesday, Kithure Kindiki will be sworn in. That was supposed to be this Tuesday, 22nd. They told the country that Kithure Kindiki atakuwa shakula kiapo. So what changed? What happened? Yes, I want to answer that, our viewer. What happened? But you can also tell us what happened, because all that, it didn't happen. Remember, even the staff that work for the deputy president was sent on compulsory leave. Today in the morning, when they reported to the office that quite some that had not been, that were just going to pick the staff, they were knocked out. They were locked out. They were barred from accessing that office. So no one is shocked. No one will be shocked that probably William Ruto will get his DG designate Kithure Kindiki at some point. But the point we are making here is it has slowed down, contrary to watu walikuwa wanasema ilikuwa inapelekwa na speed ya miraa. You could even think that the universe was going to fold us if Kindiki is not sworn in. And Kenyans have been asking, where is the rush to? What is the rush? Some few things have worked either by coincidence, some were well choreographed. And one thing I want to tell you this is President Ruto crafted all this. He crafted everything on Rigathi Gachagua impeachment. And the reason why I'm saying that is, if you look at that story of secret tape, you know, that to my end is one of the signals that Ruto crafted, because that MP has now been confirmed as Johanna Ngino. An MP goes to be with Gachagua, spends some night with Gachagua the day they were in Kisumu, and then the next hour, there is a video clip, there is an audio tape that is taken of Rigathi Gachagua talking. I believe that audio clip is just being kept. It will be unleashed in the public at the right time, if it is there or not. Then, from that audio clip, the fallout explodes. And within no time, what the country is talking about is an impeachment. So that MP, whether it was gossip in the hotel, it could have been gossip. It could have been just something someone is just saying because he's in a private place and has an element of trust. That MP, if that audio tape is at the center, is what triggered this fallout and this impeachment, then it means that that MP was dispatched and all this were choreographed. So, and it also shows you the way government runs, that William Ruto believes on grapevine. But grapevine type of leadership is not one. People like it. If you ever work with a manager who manages with a lot of grapevine, then it borders toxicity. That's a very toxic manager. Very toxic. Because if you believe on what the other person is telling you, so and so have said, I'll always tell you that story alone is one-sided. That MP can say what Rigathi said. That MP, because it's been sent, he can reserve his comments on such matters. Now, what happened? There's some 4 factors here. There's some 6, yes, that really slowed down this agency. Let me say this. Rigathi Gachagua's sickness and failing to give his statements in the Senate on Thursday was a big game changer. Was a big game changer. I still hold, I would not want to trivialize the sickness, that probably it was stage managed or not. And someone can become sick, of course. So whether that, because of that, number one, I know the whole thing had been planned, that Rigathi was going to appear in the afternoon, then regardless of whatever he was going to tell the Senate, he was going to be impeached. That for sure. I know. I didn't know that before, but now, from now where I'm seated, having looked at the way the whole thing has been handled, I can now confirm that irrespective of what Rigathi was going to say, if you look at what he's said about those attempted poisoning and the secret tape, I now confirm that the motive was so clear from the word go that Rigathi had to be removed. So, I think he realized. He knew at that time, at that point. Now, how did it slow this? It slowed this because up to now, Rigathi still remained charged and hard. And they decided, and probably it happened that he's not been heard in the Senate. So he has to go to court and get heard. And if he's heard, then the court will have to give a determination. So that really played, because it also caused two things. Apart from being unheard, there was a question of some sympathy. How do you remove me from that hospital bed? How do you remove me while in the hospital bed? I think, remember, when Rigathi was making that press briefing in Karen Hospital, he spoke about it. And I think it also happened good that he had to come out early, because if he will still be admitted as of now, then the case would have envisioned some infinity, like when will he come out of the hospital? If he is to be to defend himself, when will it really happen? So, and I'm saying, what has been slowed as to whether Kindiki was going to get a lifeline, I would not want to comment about that. That one I don't know, because that is to the finality of the court. But for me, I'm looking at the way the agency was, and up to date, some guy asked me, mbona hajakuwa sworn in? Because Ruto will still go against the law. There have been cases of contempt. That sickness changed, was a game changer. And I think it turned the script upside down. You could see the way the MPs were so angry. The senators were so angry. Even MPs, they were so angry when they realized, oh, Rigathi is not going there. They ridiculed. And then you could not now start running stories about his sickness. Number two, the 29 cases, petitions that were rejected in the judiciary really had contributed to this. And I want to explain it this way. Rigathi, even to the last minute, a 3-bench judge was sitting to decide whether the impeachment proceedings should continue or not. And the court was urged, through their own wisdom, to restrain themselves from the case, so that the two houses can actually do their work without meddling. And so he lost. All the 29 petitions were thrown out. But the judges had said that, you know what, after that proceeding, we are dismissing them now because they are premature. It's a bit anticipating what's happening in the two organs. But after it, come back. So the court had already given Rigathi an invitation. And remember, by the time they were dismissing these cases, the public was viewing the court as not just, not fair. They were viewing the court as pro-state. So it drew the attention of the public. Now, and having looked at what happened there, it drew the attention of the public on it. So the courts are also of interest that we want to look at this case. And that is why I can tell you that, do you know that even those conservatory orders, there is no guarantee that they had to be issued? There was no guarantee. There was no guarantee that the High Court had to issue those conservatory orders. There was no guarantee. The state will still meddle and make sure it's not done, and Rigathi and Kindiki is sworn in. So the courts were under pressure that we must also prove that we are fair. The third issue that also slowed Kindiki impeachment is this. Rigathi defense team successfully managed to brandish the impeachment process in both Senate and National Assembly as injustice. The rest objections did go through. Where after Rigathi impeachment, after Rigathi went to the hospital, they were asking the court to adjourn, the session to adjourn, so that they looked at that matter later. They refused. They walked out. So what did it mean? Even by the time this matter was getting finished, if the Senate would have given this, passed it, and Kindiki sworn in immediately, one of the things that Ruto would have faced here is probably has not given time, and the whole thing has to be sanitized. I can tell you that why Ruto is even slowing down and allowing this court session to go on is because he wants the court to sanitize what the other two houses did. So the two houses, because the two houses are also under that pressure. The third issue is the Mount Kenya disquiet. That's essential quotes. I've said it and I want to repeat it here. I believe that the craft of this bill knew that if we impeach Rigathi, probably we want to see, and you see during that day you could see police deployed the areas they believe are Rigathi's backyard. They wanted to see, are there protests going to emerge? And that is what they wanted, that if protests would have emerged, then someone would have raised a national security factor. If protests would have emerged, someone would have raised national security, then swear in Kindiki saying, we want to forestall a crisis. But the silence could not be understood because the region went quiet. You impeach Rigathi today, the next day you have Kindiki you've named, but people are still quiet. So and it worked because it sent, what do people really think? Do they want Kindiki? Are they supporting? And if you want to know that that disquiet played a role, look around. You'll see UDA MPs from Mount Kenya all went quiet after Rigathi impeachment. They attended church services on Sunday, but they never commented about it. You can see their counterparts from other regions defending the decision to impeach Rigathi and saying, we're impeaching Rigathi because we want a deputy who is going to be neutral, a deputy who is going to make all of us feel at home. But MPs from Mount Kenya are not commenting about it. So that created, because now I think Ruto has to create a good environment. It was like, was it the right time? Probably the NIS told him, wait, watch your remember impeachment, pole pole. The other third observation I can make is the poisoning claims. Rigathi took the war to William Ruto, and he was saying that he's out to fight it out. He was out to fight it to the end. And I can tell you, William Ruto did not foresee a situation where this impeachment would drag in court. He didn't want that dragging in court. Remember, in the Senate, already Mutuse had, I have a point about Mutuse, but already in the Senate, he had gotten the majoritarian rule to suppress the other voices. And Rigathi did not have a chance to present his matter in court. But in court, he knew that with Rigathi talking about that poisoning, how many other dossiers does Rigathi have that Rigathi might even say in court? Remember, he never got a chance to speak in the Senate. How many dossiers does he have? So he didn't want all that. And I think that also slowed down because he would not want, and the reality here is, swearing Kindiki was not going to give this case a finality. It really. The other issue is acceptability of Kindiki in the central Kenya is still in doubt. People are saying, yes, we don't have a problem, but we feel betrayed. I think quite a number of factors have played against to slow down that impeachment, and you can also tell us what you think about these guys. Thank you.